Hello. Hello. Alright, what we have here is your inherited property, right? And that is what is important to you. Like, what is the most important thing to you? And that is a flow, right? A free flow. Like the water flows, like the river flows. A free flow. And the inherent property of that, which is an inherited property of you, is actually a healing power, right? A power of renewal. That's what water carries. So your inherent property is a flow, right? A free flow. And that property carries the energy of healing, right? And renewal. And this mainly comes from your imagination, your psychic ability, right? So if you were wondering whether you have psychic ability or not, you do. You do have a shield of protection around you, not on you, around you, right? Like that. Around you. And that protective defense that you have on you, right, has to do with, I mean, I don't usually incorporate these things because I usually speak about the spirit, the self, but in your case, it would be with certain deities, right, that you have awakened your mind to. So maybe presently you're working with certain deities, and those deities have created, right, this protection, this shield around you. Where are we going with this? That is protecting, right? That shield is protecting your joy, your comfort, your pleasure, right? And harmony. It's supposed to be protecting your prosperity, right? Ecstasy. But, what does but stand for? This is all on an individual level. So what they're trying to tell me, the reading, right? This concept applies to all of you, but to an extent of an individual level, right? So not everybody's protected the same way, right? But let's say in what way your protection, believe it or not, right? Both from enemies and friends, right? And not from, it comes against your friends and against your enemies, right? The ones that are stuck in a social order. So yes, your friends are good to you, but then to an extent you need to be protected from those friends because your energy, your frequency is slightly different. So the deity that you work with or call to, or deities have, or spirits, have actually formed the shield around you that protects you from your friends as well as from your enemies. So that means the information in itself about you is never clear and never known, right? Like, for example, regarding me. I mean, I can go to the psychic right now, right? Because it's usually not advised, right, to do the reading for yourself because you might be biased, right? So you would go to someone else and that someone else would actually do the reading for you. As a practitioner, right, you go to someone else and they would do the reading for you. Unfortunately for me, unfortunately, and fortunately, both at the same time. Fortunately so that no one can view me. Unfortunately so that when I need to know something, only I can tell myself. No one can actually read me. I can go to a high psychic right now and they won't see jack shit about me because there's a blind sight protection set on me, which is you won't be able to see me. What you're going to get is just gibberish information that is not anywhere close to reality. You're not going to see me at all, right? So that's the kind of protection that has been done on some of you, not all of you, obviously. It is very strong and very, very reliable, so you must know that. The reason why this protection was placed on you, I know it is a very drastic way of blocking someone from being viewed, right? Because we sometimes, right, need a certain information that we can't get at this point. Like what I was saying, like you can go to psychic or you can go to a psychologist and they won't be able to see. Like it's like there's been a blindfold right in front of their eyes and their ear has been plugged and they neither can hear you correctly or see you correctly. And that is because the gods or the deities or the spirits that you've been in contact with or maybe recently touched base with, right? They want you to succeed, right, against all odds, right? Achieve your goals, right? And your honor, this is very important, your honor should not be touched under any circumstances. And your honor, right, has to do with your life force. That's your honor. Your honor doesn't come from the idea of the way you're living, right? These are not the morals that we're talking about. These are not integrities that we're talking about, right? This is just a raw life force, right? Your raw life force is your honor to you and for us too. So it cannot be touched. It cannot be interrupted. It cannot be meddled with. We got 3 cards. Interesting. So right now your challenges lay with like some kind of psychological frustration regarding some kind of psychological blocks, right? That have to do with thoughts, right, and activities. That include grieving, some kind of grieving phase, right? So it could be you regretting something, or you're reminiscing or something, or presently you're feeling some kind of sadness regarding the situation that you are in or going through. So I'm getting some kind of travel here, right? For some by plane or by car or a boat, again, right? Some kind of vehicle. And when you embark on this trip, it has to do with change for the better for you, right? So is this like the continuation of the reading that I did like a while ago? Like like 2, 3 readings ago when someone was going on a trip. And this trip has to do with earlier, right? Earlier efforts, right? You had some kind of awakening on maybe the trip before this one's coming, like your last trip or the trip before that, the one that was memorable, right? It was extremely fruitful, right? And you felt like you had some kind of breakthrough. And that is like, that unlocked that part of the travel. So you'll be traveling a lot, it looks like this to me. Some of you who wanted a child, it's going to happen. And some of you who wanted to conceive a new thought, new idea within the mind, that also is going to happen. So there will be some kind of growth. For some of you, the growth would be, right, you'll have a child that you always wanted. And for some of you, the transformation, the growth, and the beginning of new you. Okay, so they want you to understand that your energy is a reactive force, right? So it's not just acceptance, it's not reciprocation or acceptance extension. What we're talking about here, reactive force, which is you are a reactive spirit. So you reciprocate, right, within the frequency. So if something's directed to you, you respond to it. Whatever it may be, you respond to it accordingly, adequately, right? So you are a reactive force. And that force can be viewed as destructive as well as defensive, but yet it's just reactive. So you might have been told at times in your life that you're being defensive, right? Or you're being destructive, but that's not what it is, my love. It's basically you're responding to something coming at you, and the way it's coming. If a destruction is coming at you, you're going to respond to it adequately, right? Within the same equivalent of the frequency of destruction. Or if the defense coming at you, you're going to go offense with the defense, right? So you're going to react to it. And that causes a lot of conflict within your life between whom you're interacting with. So it looks like you're having a lot of conflict in your life because people misunderstand you. They view you as destructive or defensive, yet you're just reactive spirit, right? And your spirit has the tendency, right, to move towards change. So you're like changeling. You're always change. You're always moving. So every time you do something, it is within the context of growth, change, and shift, right? So if something comes to you, let's say someone is offensive or defensive or a negative energy comes to you, you will respond to it within the adequate manner, but also to trigger it to move. Now that will create a shift within their mind that will be extremely uncomfortable, and that's why the defense mechanism will be activated within that person, where that person would brand you as destructive, right? Because your energy, once it's communicated with, right? Whoever communicates with your energy, be it good, bad, positive, negative, doesn't matter what polarity, right? Every time any frequency comes into interaction with your frequency, like that life force flow that we were talking about before, your energy creates all of a sudden, so like clears up the path for the person. And once the path is cleared up, it forces their spirit, their soul, to pushes them forward and forces them to move into a new direction, right? That's best for them. Now you're doing this unknowingly, right? Sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Most of the times unknowingly, because this is your frequency. Your frequency is a transformative energy, right? Reactive, transformative energy. So energy, right? You talk to me, my spirit reacts, my energy reacts to you. It scans through your frequency, and then it opens up a portal where your frequency can actually grow and change, and it pushes it into that hole that I have just, like my spirit, my energy has just opened. Now, if you're not ready, you will get defensive, and that's what's happened. That is what's happening to people. They're becoming defensive because you, without understanding it, always see the outcome and the future, and you're like a satellite GPS, basically, for everyone. That's your frequency. You can map out anything for anyone. It's your spirit, your energy is a guiding force, and it's wonderful. But if the spirit is not, and the soul is not ready, and the mind's not ready, you will encounter a lot of attack, right, and conflict. Also, your physical strength and speed, right, has this untamed potential, right? It has like a potential that cannot be tamed, right? And that has this like free flow energy, the action, right? That action that has understanding and wisdom, right? And the timing that is hard to understand even for you. So imagine how difficult it is to understand for people for whom you have just randomly, all of a sudden, within like split-second interaction, paved the way, a new way, and just push them through it. Of course they're going to get defensive, right? And blame you for it. You're going through some kind of delays regarding and restrictions, right? This has to do with some revitalization of your visions, right? Regarding knowledge and creativity. So why is this block happening? There will be some kind of message that will be revealed to you very soon, right? Some kind of insight. And this will be through communication. In the beginning, this message is going to be sort of uncertain, and it will feel like secret message, right? There will be like hidden, mysterious meaning to it. And it has to do with something with money and income and luck. And something about wrath of nature. And justice. I don't know. These are random words at the end, so you go figure it out what it is for you.